Swish 1994, proudly brought to you by Foster's, Cathay Pacific, and the official NBL soft drink, Coca-Cola.
Quiet on the set, please.
Hi, I'm Adonis Jordan, and welcome to Swish. Rolling on with the program, we move to round 19.
Daryl Johnson, shooting solidly from three-point range, quickly got his side out in front. While up the other end, Ray Borner had the paint covered with a brilliant 12-point scoring term to have Geelong up by 3 at half-time. Geelong poured it on in the third term, but so did the Suns, and with Ricky Jones pouring more of those powerful dunks on, they were running with the Supercats. Only a 1-minute explosion by Geelong pushed the Supercats out in front by 6 going into the final period. Geelong looked like they had enough momentum to carry them to the win. That was until Cameron Dickinson stepped up to hit 7 points in a minute and pushed Townsville out to a 6-point lead with 6 minutes to play. The Supercats clawed back to have the lead teetering by a point in the final minutes. But a three-pointer from Daryl Johnson sealed it for the Suns with a 2-point win, 114 to 112.
At the first change, it was the Devils by 3, but that was quickly overhauled by Illawarra, who hit 8 unanswered points at the start of the second term. The Devils had gone off the boil, and import Calvin Telford off the court with his 5th personal foul. At half-time, there was only 1 shot in it, the Hawks 47, the Devils 44. The Devils started the third term as they did the first, and for much of the quarter the lead fluctuated. Hayes was off target from the perimeter, but was almost flawless from the stripe. With Steele and Adams chiming in with late baskets, it was the Hawks leading by 6 at three-quarter time. After the break, Illawarra set about icing the match. The Devils went scoreless for almost 6 minutes, and with 5:47 to play, the Hawks were up by 18. Telford was benched, completing a forgettable night. Then Thomas hit the one and only dunk of the match. That, however, caused a shoulder injury, forcing him from the court. Perhaps it was complacency from the Hawks, but the Devils rallied, and within a couple of minutes had cut the margin to 2. Just when an upset looked on the cards, Illawarra steadied to escape 6-point winners.
Damien Keogh had a 14-point first half. It was one of his better scoring outputs for the season.
Senstock for 3.
And this, talk about scoring output. Larry likes to hit that tray now and again, doesn't he? No doubt about it.
Well, he really wanted to go out in the perimeter and force Dean Uthoff to come out and play him out in the perimeter. They just pass the ball so well. They make that extra pass, and that's why they're on top of the league. Nice little dish in there from Leon to Brad Williams, who got some good minutes for the Sydney Kings in that loss to the Giants.
Have a look at this play here. Great defence from Sydney. The Giants by 16 at half-time.
Very disappointed Bob Turner.
Despite the look on Bob's face, the Kings actually started a run here. Trimmingham, who had a 12-point third quarter, they cut the deficit to 1. You'll see Mario Donaldson here pick off a tray. He's open. Nice jumper. That cut it to 1. He had 8 points in the third quarter as well. But North Melbourne consolidated. That man there probably pulled him to the bench and held them down. You can see they got the margin back out to 7 points. And really, after that, the Kings were not a chance.
And this is a fitting way to end the game. Daryl McDonald with a two-hand reverse jam.
Let's get into the action. Robert Rose had 8 points in the first quarter alone. Would you believe he did not score again until the final quarter, which we'll show you pretty soon. Great performance, though, early.
Look for some magic here from that man, Rucker. There's the first score there for Johnson. It's interesting to see whether Sixers can continue on this one. Yes, they do.
8 seconds now left on the shot clock.
Rose looking for an opening. And a tough shot. And he gets it. Wow. Once again, not a lot happening out there. Johnson finally gets a shot away and gets the points.
Without sort of just moving the ball around a little bit more and attacking the defence. There was really no purpose in that offence.
Rose. Well, it's been a tough night, but Robert Rose has been able to pull a couple of miraculous baskets out when they've really counted.
That's right. So we got Andrew Vlahoff, and he gets a nice play there, and he's been a little bit down on his form. The Wall hasn't been dominating as much as they did last year. Even though they've had a couple good games, they'd like to get a couple good more. Derek Rucker, he was very impressive, and I think he might have won out on that matchup that they have so often, the Ricky Grace-Derek Rucker matchup. There's Aaron Trahair, and don't they welcome him back into the lineup. He's been out with a back injury. Terry Dozier with a turnaround jump shot, and he was slow in the first half, and he came on in the second with some shots like that. Aaron Trahair shoots the basketball, bangs a three home. He was 50% from outside the three-point arc. He was 3 of 6. But it was Newcastle. They needed to get a road split, and they were desperate. Marty McLean with a nice little flip shot with the left hand. He does everything for the Newcastle Falcons. He's that real blue-collar worker for them. Derek Rucker, he's the star. He can do it. 32 points. He had a very impressive game.
He got a game-high 33, the man, Leroy. And that behind-the-back sweet move from Shane Heal. Lee doesn't miss many of those open jump shots.
He had a game-high 33. Harvey right there with a three-point shot, doing his best to replace their skipper, Andre Lafleur. And he's a very tough player, very good defender, Harvey.
That's what I call pressure. 31-30 to Brisbane at quarter time. The Bullets hung in there pretty well. They were down by only 7 at half-time. 3-quarter time, there was only 2 points in this game. So they did a mighty job when you think about it.
It's a long three-point bomb by Dave Colbert. He's so tough because he can mix that inside-outside game. He was slumping about halfway through the year, but they're feeling pretty good. With all those scoring weapons, they're tough. Tony DeAmbrose is finishing off like he does so well, one of the league leaders in field goal percentage. That's just some very average D by the Gold Coast Rollers there. No help. The turnaround jump shot by Zaghetti doesn't go, but the Gold Coast Rollers find the open man, and that is the man that's going to miss Andre Lafleur the most.
This is a nice jump shot from Adonis Jordan. That was his 4th three-pointer of the match at that time.
Over the top for 3. It's a tough bucket if it falls, and that is a class.
Very important, Melvin Thomas. 28 points, 15 rebounds, and 4 assists.
Jordan, but Chris Steele, well done, Bob.
Nice little play there by Bruce Bolden. And the rebound, this is where they hurt you so much, those offensive rebounds. Andrew Parkinson puts the basketball back in there. That's just a free attempt on the other end of the floor. Mick Corcoran with a long 3. But this team is just loaded with strength and talent. They execute so well. I'm talking about the Magic, and they have got to be one of the favorites to take out this championship. Lucas, he is so tough doing it on both ends of the floor. He wanted the foul as well on that one. But when he plays with that intensity, it's tough to stop him.
Well, Illawarra was Illawarra. They hung around there. They were hoping to pull the usual trick of staying close. They were down by 2 at the quarter. They were down by, in fact, they went up by 2 at half-time. And they slipped a little to a 9-point deficit at 3-quarter time, but that's usually okay for them because they quite often grind away and then get you in that last quarter. This was a very close game, in fact, shot for shot, very early. Canberra led 26-24 at the quarter. Fred Cofield running the point, sets things up once again with a little fake. Justin Withers with the 3. He had 9 points in the second quarter, and Canberra built a 13-point lead. Very, very slick, and Sydney went a little bit astray. Trimmingham, with a little help from him, they cut the lead to 10 by half-time. Counting down at the end of the third quarter here, and you'll see Simon Cottrell, he's wide open, just has to make that 3. Sydney started to outscore Canberra in this quarter. They, in fact, beat them 24-16 in that period. Donaldson with the 2.
Passed by the pressure.
Well, Dalton almost lost it.
But move there from Leon. Trimming pays immediate dividends from the Kings. And like an Armstrong looks to knock down a 3. It does.
And as soon as that shot goes up, all the cannons will be going for the boards, I assure you.
Donaldson, the shot is up, it falls.
What big shot.
Timeout called by Cofield.
And the game is over.
If you like the high flying and the great dunks, this guy coming up next, Sydney Kings, Leon Trimmingham, is the guy to watch. So check him out.
Well, my year has been pretty good so far. It's been past my expectations and past a lot of people's expectations too. And hopefully I can take it on throughout the playoffs. I had high expectations first of all, but not to be the second leading scorer and to be in all these stats and receiving all these accolades and stuff like that. So I mean, that's just something I never dreamed of. Not my first year anyway, but it happened and I'm glad. Well, actually, it feels pretty good. You know, I mean, that shows that the people appreciate what I'm doing. You know, and that's one of the reasons why I'm here, that to make people know what I'm doing and I can play this game. You know, when I first came here, there's a lot of critics, well, he's too young, he has no prior professional experience and stuff like that, you know, but I mean, I came in and work hard and do my job and now I'm receiving the benefits. No, I never felt the pressure, actually. I mean, it's kind of interesting. Coming here, people say all the pressure in Sydney this year, considering the year they had last year. But I never really personally felt any pressure. I just went out and played my game. Well, I haven't had a chance to look around that much, you know, because we've been too busy doing a lot of promotions and clinics and stuff like that. But usually what I do is just go back home and be by myself and watch videos and just hang out, you know, spend the time I have to myself conveniently. Okay, on a weekend, and what I'll do is go to the beach and, you know, go to the movies or something and go to a video store and rent videos. I mean, that's about it. I mean, I don't go out that much because it's kind of tough now since I'm so known in Sydney that you get to hassle a lot, you know. But I don't really go out that much. Well, actually, I played a little bit of tennis when I was younger. And I got into basketball because of my height, actually. People was telling me you should play basketball because you're tall and this and that and you're athletic. So I gave it a try, and I played 1 year of high school basketball, and it went pretty good. And from there, I went to college, and my success just started from there, and it continued. In college, I was a mass communication major. Well, in college was, it's pretty much a lot like here, actually, college I went to, you know. But, I mean, you got to study, you got to combine the studying and the practicing and all that stuff into one day. So it's pretty hectic, which is the same way it was here at Sydney, too, at first, before I got used to it, how to handle it. But, I mean, in college, there's no bit of difference, actually. Just studying, I guess. I was best studying mass communication, since that's my major. You know, I like mass communication. Yeah, I was a pretty good writer, and that's my goal when I finish basketball, is to be a journalist, hopefully a sports journalist. Well, during the summer in college, I did an internship at a local television station, also the newspaper place. So we had some experience in that kind of stuff, writing newspaper columns and doing interviews and stuff like that. So I'm pretty much, I know how to handle that kind of situation. In college, I did that one time as a newscaster. It was just for special things, a baseball game. And they asked me to interview this one player. So I mean, it was pretty nervous at first, but I got a hang of it, and it's pretty okay. Yeah, it was fun, because then I felt I was in charge, you know, and I could ask them anything I wanted to, and they had to answer me, you know, whether correctly or not. But it was great to interview someone. Here again with more highlights and slam dunks from round 20 of the Mitsubishi Challenge.
Adelaide played some of its best basketball in the second quarter. Smythe and Mackay coming off the bench to put them within a point, and Mark Davis helping himself to a couple of dunks. The Devils were still in front moments before half-time, but a three-pointer from Ninnis and a converted foul off the ball gave Adelaide a 4-point lead at the break. Former league MVP Robert Rose was having one of those nights, and Phil Smythe made his court time count, chiming in with 14 points, 12 from the perimeter. The Devils tried to stay with the Sixers. At three-quarter time, the margin was 8. Stewart cut that to 5 with the first basket in the fourth, but that was as close as the Devils were to get. Rose helped himself to another 10 points for a game-high 37, as Adelaide stretched its hot streak to 12 wins from its past 14 matches.
With the important half-time lead-up for grabs, David Close got Canberra back in front with precise three-point shooting. But for long-range accuracy, the man of the night was Simon Curl, shooting 80% from three-point zone to keep the Supercats in touch, 55 each at half-time. The struggle continued in the third, Canberra edging ahead, but Geelong were never more than 5 points behind. A coast-to-coast run by Simon Curl nudged the Supercats up by 2 as they went to the benches for the final break.